Welcome to the Practice Impossible podcast, where your host, Jude Pierre, MD, also known as Coach JPMD, discusses medical practice topics that will guide you through the maze that is the business of medicine and teach you how to increase profits and help populations live long. Your mission, should you choose to accept, is to listen and be transformed. Now, here's your host, Coach JPMD.
Thank you so much for listening to the Practice Impossible podcast. And, May 21st is the anniversary of the podcast. May 21st, 2022 marks a year. And it's been a great run of episodes. And I didn't think I'd last this long, and I did. And that's with the help of a great support staff, a great practice staff as well. And I want to thank Arif. I want to thank Caitlin for continuing to help produce these episodes every 2 weeks. And before we continue, if you've listened to any episode previously and you haven't left a review, please leave a review for me, because that really gets the word out and helps get the word out to the audience that really needs to hear these things that we're sharing with you. So after 1 year, I must say that it has been fun sharing stories, sharing my stories, sharing stories of others, all in the hopes of making your stressful physician lives or healthcare provider lives better. My mission is to help populations live long by increasing awareness of spiritual, mental, and physical health globally and sharing with you ups and downs of life. There's been lots of ups and downs this year. There's been the stress of COVID, the practice stress, the financial stress, the inflation. And I have to say, more recently, there's been more downs and ups for me. And at the end of this podcast, I'm going to share some things that I have done to help get me out of these downs. And I'm going to share some of my practice challenges, because I think it's important to not only share the wins and the pluses, but also to share the struggles and the hardships that one faces in medical practice. So my top 3 struggles or hardships, I have to say, are number 1 is COVID. COVID is back, and we're still down 3 team members in our practice. And there's been a surge in the practice of COVID cases, patients becoming very anxious about what to do. And that's even despite the shots and boosters that have been offered. And thankfully, patients have been doing okay, but that's a stress point. Number 2, my personal side, I'm still in the moving phase. We still haven't fully moved in to our new place, and we're dealing with no driveway and no sod. So that's been a little challenging. And number 3, recently my practice associate announced that she was leaving the practice to be closer to home. So that was a 1, 2, 3 punch of hardships. So in the past couple of weeks, I've been kind of reflecting on what should I do? What have I learned over the past couple of years that can help me get through some of these struggles? And that's when a Bible verse came to mind, and that's James 1, verses 2 through 5. And I'm going to just read it from the New International Version. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. So after reading that passage, there's a book I read called R.A.R.E Leadership. And R.A.R.E Leadership is a book that describes 4 uncommon habits for increasing trust, joy, and engagement in the people that you lead. And as physicians, as family members, we are all leaders. We all have a tribe that we can lead and that we should be leading. And those 4 uncommon habits are related to the R.A.R.E acronym. So he creates an acronym with R.A.R.E, and the 4 habits are return to joy, act like your best self. R.A.R.E leaders also remain relational. And the last one is R.A.R.E leaders endure or embrace hardship well. So for me, enduring hardship and embracing hardship just means that I need to really take a step back and understand what I can do to, number 1, help my patients who have COVID, be there for them, offer them the supplements and the things that I feel has worked for many of our patient population. For the second thing is really to understand that not having a driveway and not having sod is not the end of the world, and that things will be better soon. So I'm embracing it. I lived in Haiti, so if I can live in Haiti, I can live through not having a driveway or sod. And the third one is, my practice associate who's leaving, I have to take a step back to understand what I can do to help my practice before or even if I get another associate. So one of the things that I am currently and actively doing is finding key team members that I can add to our team that can alleviate some of the workload. I'm changing my schedule around so that I can be more available for my patients. And I'm learning how to delegate better. And that's something that I've always struggled with. And, I had a huge win today when a team member actually brought in a patient who was having what looked like a sebaceous cyst after I saw the patient. And she took it upon herself, didn't even ask me, but brought the patient in, told me that, hey, doc, there's a patient in the room and he's got something I want you to take a look at. So I walk in, it looks like a sebaceous cyst. She writes a nurse's note and the chart. I prescribe Keflex for the patient, and the patient was going to be seen in a couple of days. So without me having to be 100% involved in that note writing and encountering the patient, while I had a full schedule, she was able to offload that part by taking the initiative and bringing the patient in and doing the things that I would have done in an office visit anyway, but having it be a nursing visit. So those are some of the ways that I'm embracing my hardships. If you want, leave a note, leave me a review, send me an email at info@coachjpmd.com. Tell me how you're embracing hardship in your practice, or if there's something that you want me to help you with, let me know. Book a call with me at the link below. And I can also help you understand how you can embrace your hardship. I'll leave some of the links to the things that I discussed, the books that I mentioned in this podcast. And yes, this is a shorter episode this week because of some of these hardships that I'm facing. So I didn't want to not have this episode this week, but I also wanted to celebrate the year mark of our podcast, Practice Impossible, and say thank you to all of our listeners and everyone out there that continues to support me. And I hope to continue doing this for a long time to come.